I want to jump ahead a little bit, if I may, to
jump away.
URGO. So, did you where are you going?
Are you looking at me, bum?
Maybe just a little bit.
Cheeky bum lookers. Yeah, so there's
there's the card. Absolutely. Bubba.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. What an awesome
So my dad
human
was.
being.
They approached me to have my dad on the show, and they said, I think Tor Alexander he had the seed of the idea, and he pitched that to Brad, and then Brad and Tor both approached me, and I was like, I was in the principal's office, and they said, what do you think if, and I was like, oh, what's going to happen now if we had your dad on the show? You want my dad on this show, the show with the guns and the lasers and the what? How does that work? And then they explained to me that he would be an amalgamation of all the inner child. And I was like, oh, my dad could totally do that. That'd be awesome. And I said, yeah, let me call him. And we called him, and he was super excited about the idea that he would get to work. My dad loved to work on anything. You know, he much preferred to work than to not to work. And he was still quite mobile then, not totally, but still enough. And I said, when we were prepping the show, I said, it's very important that my dad have a proper chair to sit in. And they were like, what are you talking about? My dad needs a proper, sturdy chair to sit in on the set. So because then we'll get his best. He can't sit in a regular director's chair, and he can't be in an uncomfortable little folding chair. So you got to give him a proper chair. And they sent away and got me this really scoop 'em. I know I'm talking about a chair on a sci-fi show, but I have to tell you, this chair, this beautiful chair, tons of padding, very sturdy. It was like a throne, right? And that, even though it sounds dumb, it put my dad at ease, and it comforted him. And all he had to do was he could sit right friggin' there, right off camera, and then stand up and then be alive and do whatever he needed to do. And then when we weren't shooting, he could just walk 1, 2, 3, point, and just sit down, which is exactly what he needed, right? To give us 100%. And it was exhausting, the kind of stuff that he was having to put out that energy.
He runs that show.
I was shooting 2 shots of him. Like, I would shoot his coverage, and then I would also keep his shot alive with another 2 shot while I was shooting the other coverage, because whatever he was willing to give us, I wanted to get, right? And he came up with so many fun lines that we had so much extra material. We had multiple. I don't know if you realize this, but the Judd Apatow and stuff. When he makes his movies, he throws in couplets. He was like, "Try this joke, try this joke, try this joke." Steve Carell, same thing. They try jokes on the fly. So that's kind of what was happening. Was he would try this joke and he'd try that joke, and then Chris Judge or Terrell Rothery never knew what he was gonna say for sure, and then they would laugh. And like, come on,
don't laugh,
bite your cheek. Right. And then God bless Brad Wright. He went through all of the material, all of the alternate takes, all of the one lines, and he crafted. Because I couldn't do it. I mean, all I could do was give him what he wrote and a couple of zingers. But Brad went deep in, and he got all the fun stuff, and he brought that forward. And what Brad ultimately cut together was just chef kiss, double chef kiss, right? And that experience, I treasure that for the rest of my life. I'll never forget it. I got to work with my dad. We all got to work with my dad, but I got to work with my dad, and I got to say, anytime, Pop, go for it. And he came up with such joyful things. And people still quote, I want to experience life. I want to eat pie, right?
I want to eat pie.
And How can you resist this? Right? That was his line. Yeah,
Oh, that was your line that he dubbed. Can you resist?
Well, he
this?
said he performed. It's funny. He performed it, and then I assumed the same position, and I tried to imitate him exactly. But I did the best I could. But he was determined to have me be the younger, nicer version of himself. And I was like, but Dad, there's way more handsome people here we could get in. He goes, I want you to do it. I was like, okay, all right, it's all good.
You were already doing cameos at that point anyway, so it wasn't, it fit, it worked.
Yes, it did fit. It made sense for me to be in there. Yeah, so that was a joyful moment, a high point for me on that show, and I will cherish it. Yeah.
Did you ever think you'd direct him?
I had directed him before.
Okay.
On other things, but not to that degree, not to that level. And we had worked together on Sequest by that point. All the brothers.
That's correct.
We'd also done. We ended up doing Third Rock from the Sun as well as a group, and so there was a couple and Hot Stuff when we were much younger. When that was a movie that he directed. So there was a few times where we got to work with him individually and as a group. And so it didn't feel like it was the only time I ever got to work with him, but it was definitely one of the most special times I got to work with him.
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.